Hi, 8th grade. Sorry I'm not there today. I wanted to go ahead and give you a lesson on functions. We're starting a brand new unit. And we are going to be on page 23 and 24. Oops, sorry. There you go. You can stop the video, but I'm going to continue on. All right, so today what we're starting a brand new unit. This is huge, and actually it's getting into algebra. Mr. Skinner or Mr. Brock should have given you some handouts. One looks like this. You're going to go ahead and trim it. Basically, you're going to make a perfect square. Okay. And so then when you fold this down, and we're going to work with this in just a second. This is going to be really valuable, especially if I give an open book test, huh? All right. So once we're done with that, go ahead and just set it aside for a second. What I want to talk about is, what is a function? Okay. When we have, I know some of you have seen this, I did it last year. When you have let's pretend you have a little machine here. Oh, sorry, I'll close that one off. Didn't mean to. So let's pretend that when we have a table of x and y, yes, we're starting to get into algebra where we have an x and a y. When you input an x, and remember that the x is always an independent variable. And when we say independent, it means that it acts on its own. In other words, my output is the y, which is dependent on my x. Okay? So let's look at an example. If I had x squared, okay? Let's pretend I put in 3 as my x. So 3 squared would be 9. What if I put in a -3? It would still be a 9. Okay? So I can have the same output, but the one thing about a function is you can only have one input for every output. So let's pretend that I had x squared again. And to prove my point, can I do 3 and 3 and expect a different output? No. Okay? All right, so what does that look like? You're going to go ahead, and I may have used too much room. Sorry about that. In algebra, you're going to extend a little bit more on this, but we want to know, is this a function? And we can tell, we can look at a function. Basically, a function is a rule that relates to quantities so that each input value corresponds to exactly one output value. And I'm going to give you some quick ways to remember this. This is not difficult, but it sounds a little bit more confusing than it really is. You don't have to worry about the domain and range. That is algebra. So we have 3 different types. One is a graph. Okay? So the way that we test to see if this is a function or not is called the vertical line test. All that means, think about it, a vertical line, and we're just going to move from the right to the left. And if it hits, in other words, if your line hits or point on any graph hits more than once, it is not a function, okay? Because that means that there would be 2 x's. Let's pretend that the line was a circle, okay? It would hit in 2 spots. Let me show you in a couple examples. Here, I'm going to do the vertical line test. Does it hit in more than one spot? No. But look at here. If you notice, I have an x here and an x here. So I have 2 x's, or the same x, but 2 different y's. And we know that you cannot do that. So this is not a function. This is a function. Okay? So graphs are pretty simple. The vertical line test is the way that we test that. Mappings. This is just a way to organize your x's, which is your domain, and your y. So let's take a look. The one thing is you always place in a table, and I'll show you why. If 2 is to 4, I have 3 is to 8, 4 is to 8, and 5 is to 5. Remember that I can have a repeat in my y's for a different x, but I cannot have the opposite. So let's look at this one. Yes, this is a function. Let's look at the next one. Place your table, and here's y. 4 is to 7, 5 is to 2, and 5 is to 9. Already I have what? The same x and 2 different outputs. This is not a function. Okay? Now, I'm going to give you a quick way to remember all this, and we'll move on to the next one. But you'll probably have fun with this. You never date your x twice. You never, if you ever have a repeat in x and it's 2 different y's, it is not a function. Okay? Easy schmeezy. All right, let's look at the last example. Here we have a table as well as a set of ordered pairs. Okay? In a table, do I have a repeat of my x? No. So this is a function. Here, do I have a repeat of my x's? Yes. And now I look over, are they different y's? Yes. So this is not a function. Okay? From an ordered pair, I'm going to look, do I have a repeat in my x? I don't have one, so yes, this is a function. -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. Did this repeat? No, so this is a function as well. Okay? Just remember that you're always looking at your x and does it repeat? And the reason that I said on a mapping is to put it into a table is because here, what does this look like? It looks like you have 2, but only 1 x. It doesn't look, the way it's represented does not represent, I mean, in our minds, we think it's only 1, and we don't see that repeat. But if you put it in a table, you will see the repeat, okay? All right, go ahead and you're going to glue that in. And then on your left page, go ahead and just set that to the side. I want you to, I've already cut mine out. Okay, you have a bunch of cards. All right, and I'm going to go through each one of these, but I want you to separate it into a stack that's function and non-function. I'm going to continue, but I want you to pause the video, okay? All right, I know that some of you did not pause it. You're just wanting to go straight ahead, but that's okay. All right, so A. Do I have a repeat? No. So this is yes, it is a function. Okay. I'm going to do, let's just go, I'll go in order. B. So I have a graph, so I'm going to do the vertical line test. Does it hit in more than one, does that line, I see it hits here, here, and here. So that means that I have the same x, but for 3 different y outputs. So this is not a function. Okay, I'm just going to kind of keep them separate like that. All right, so the next one, I'm going to do the vertical line test, and here I don't have a line, but I have points. So it hits once here, hits once here. If you notice now it hits 2 because my x is 0, but my y is 0 as well as negative, it looks like negative 15. So this is not a function. Okay. And the next one. Do I have a repeat of my x's? So, yes, it is a function because I didn't repeat them. It's actually pretty easy. All right, I'm going to do the vertical line test. And if you notice, it hits here and it hits here, not the x-axis, but just the line of my function. Well, it's not a function. So that means that I have the same x but two different y's. So this is not a function. All right, do I have a repeat? Yes. So that means I have two different outputs for the same input. It is not a function. Okay. Here, with ordered pairs, I'm going to look at my x. Does it repeat? No. So yes, it is a function. All right. Now the key here is anytime you have a straight line, it is a function. Okay? Because I know that it's not going to hit in more than one spot. A map, what did I always say? Put it into a table. If you notice, 1 is associated with 2. 1 is also with 3. Do I have a repeat in my x? So it is not a function. Going to M. Do I have a repeat? Yes, but look, it's the same output. All they did was repeat an ordered pair. So it is still a function. Okay. Do I have a repeat in my x's? No. So yes, it is a function. Do I have a repeat? So yes, it is a function. All right, let's do the vertical line test. It does not hit in more than one spot. So yes, it is a function. Now I can already see right here. Look at this. See now? It hits right there and right there. So it is not a function. Okay, what did I say on a table? You always... So 1 is with 2, 2 is with 2, 3 is with 0, and 3 is with 4. I have a repeat and two different outputs. So no, it is not a function. All right. Is this a function? Does it hit in more than one spot? No? So yes, this is a function. Okay? All I want you to do is I want you to make two pockets. Okay? I want you to put function and not function. And I apologize, I didn't have this ready. All you have to do is create a construction paper, a little bit larger, and then tape it off, and then put these cards in there. If you would like, you can go on to the next page. Actually, or you can do this. You can, this might be an easier way for you. Go ahead and take a stapler and then just staple it to the page for the functions. Actually, I think I'm going to do that too. So functions. And then you're going to put and staple these, lift up your page and staple those together. These are not a function. All right. So your independent work, and it should not take very long. It's a little maze, and all I want you to do is it a function or not? And it will determine your path, okay? I think that you have seen this before. Please have this ready for when you visit on Wednesday. Once again, I'm sorry for not being there, but I definitely will be there tomorrow.